A confirmation that has come in of how the minor had been treated with kid gloves. In fact, VIP treatment being given after the accident. The police insider has spilled the beans. Listen in to how they reveal the details of how the minor, after the accident, had been given pizza and burgers and well treated in the police station. Listen in.
पिज्जा और बर्गर किसने दिया था, जगदाले साहब ने कि तोड़करी साहब ने?
आप कहाँ से बात कर रहे हैं?
मैं स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम टाइम्स नाउ।
हाँ?
मैं SIT से बोल रहा हूँ, टाइम्स नाउ के।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, आप कहाँ पे हैं अभी?
अभी मैं यहाँ पे हूँ शिवाजी नगर में।
आप इधर आइए और जो आपको जो मालूमात बनाए ना,
हाँ,
वहाँ हमारे स्टाफ को मिलो, वहाँ पे सबको मिल जाएगा।
आप कहाँ पे सर अभी?
येरोडा पुलिस स्टेशन।
तो लेकिन उस दिन रात को मुझे वो जानना था, वो सही बात है क्या? वो जगदाले साहब ने दिया था कि तोड़करी साहब ने पिज्जा और बर्गर?
इधर आइए, बात करिए साहब से, सीनियर साहब से मिले इधर।
हाँ, लेकिन आप थे ना उस दिन रात को, आपने स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड किया था ना? हाँ गोविंद जी।
All right, we have DCP Sandeep Singh also joining us over the phone lines. So, Sandeep Singh, thank you for joining us. The investigations into the case are going on, but there is a lot of anger on how the police had treated the minor after the accident, where officials themselves had revealed that he was treated with good food and treated with kid gloves when he was in the police station.
Yeah, ma'am, that is actually I wasn't there. So I was on the night duty.
Okay.
Night patrolling, but I wasn't informed by the control room, so I was unaware of the incident having happened.
Okay, so the fact that you were not informed, that itself is a lapse, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like that, yeah.
Mr. Sandeep Singh, for the benefit of our viewers, if you can tell us what is the due process that needs to be followed in such cases and what was not followed this time around?
So generally, senior officers are informed whenever there is an incident, a serious incident in the city. So it has to be informed by the concerned person on the ground, police personnel on the ground to the control room, and the control room then gives the information to the concerned officers on duty. Yeah, that is.
So that was not done. Who are the officials? Have they been identified for dereliction of duty? What is the action that has been taken?
Yeah, that is being taken by the, there is some inquiry being conducted regarding that, but that is being done by other officers, yeah.
Okay, because this is a case that has shocked the entire country and people depend on the police officials to take action and to ensure justice. And this is a case where the police officials were also lacking in taking action. Other than mere suspension of one or two officials who are involved in this, are we looking at a bigger overhaul? Are we looking at bigger action being taken in this case?
That depends on the outcome of the inquiry that's being conducted. Yeah.
Okay, outcome of the inquiry, including the fact that it was not reported in the first place and the minor was...
Actually, see, I'm not conducting that, so I cannot comment upon that. So that process is being followed by another line of investigation. As I told you, that wasn't my jurisdiction, but the only thing is that I was on duty that day, so it was expected that I would get a call or we will be informed regarding that. That I wasn't informed. That is the lacuna we are here. We can talk about. The other things I'm not handling right now.
Okay,
yeah.
So when did you know about the incident and what did the officials tell you?
Yeah, the next day. But by that time, the officers concerned had already been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so by then the details of the case had already come out. So can you help us understand where the investigations are? Because the family members are also saying that it was the driver who was driving, but details have also come in that it was not in fact the driver, but it was a minor who was driving.
Ma'am, I would humbly request you to talk to the concerned investigation officers and their immediate supervising officers. They'll be in a better position to inform you regarding the developments in the case and investigation, because I am not investigator, neither I am the supervising officer in that case. Please.
Okay, all right. So the process that needs to be followed is that he is to be taken for the medical checkup immediately. So apart from not calling you, he was not immediately taken for a medical checkup as well.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't there, so I can't comment. I exactly don't know what is there on the paper. I didn't read the file. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure as a
Quite all
DCP, you're
right.
aware of what happened at your police station. You said the due process is for the officials on duty to inform you or whoever is the DCP, the senior officials at the time to inform them. The due process that's followed is, apart from informing you, they were to be taken for a medical checkup, but that was not done.
Yeah, this is how it's. You see, I tell you, I didn't read the file per se, what time he was taken and all. The official papers I have not. I have. That's why I say that you should talk to the concerned supervising officer and get all the details, what time he was taken and what time all the procedure was done. So then you'll be able to have a better grasp of the timings and the time lost into that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but I'm sure as a DCP, you're aware the details of the case have the entire country in shock. So you're saying it started with lapses on several fronts, but to begin with, what the officials on duty should have done is to inform you, but they did not do that.
Yeah, that's how I'm concerned there. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mr. Sandeep Gill, thank you for joining us. DCP saying that there has been a lapse, admitting that, yes, there has been a lapse from the police officials. Remember, we at times now have been exposing the lapses that have taken place on several fronts. One, from the police station itself, when the accused had been brought in, there was no medical test that was immediately done. Apart from that, the seniors had to be informed. The DCP saying that he was not informed, as is the protocol that's usually followed. Apart from that, he was to be taken for a medical checkup. That was not done as well. In fact, some of the officials from the police station also revealing that the accused in the case, the minor, was dealt with kid gloves, being given pizzas and burgers in the police station, and this is after the accident. The police officials were well aware of what had happened, and yet he was treated with kid gloves in the police station. Now the family members are saying that it was the driver who was behind the wheel. The police officials say that they are looking into the details of the case and they believe that the driver is being framed. They're looking at the cover-up attempt that had been made as well. In fact, there was also pressure on the police officials to cover up the case. Who is it who did not want the case details to come out? These are the questions that need to be answered. The police have now ordered a thorough probe into the same. We just spoke to the DCP who didn't divulge too many details, saying a probe is currently underway and he is not handling the probe, so he would not be able to divulge too many details of what is happening as far as the investigation is concerned. But there are several questions that remain unanswered. One, if there was a minor accused, if the local residents have beaten up the minor, it was because he was behind the wheel. Some of the people are said to have said that he was behind the wheel when the accident took place, and that's the reason why the visuals that you're seeing, these are just moments after the accident took place, when the local residents, agitated residents, assaulted the minor because he was behind the wheel. But now the family members have been saying that it was the driver. In fact, Times Now has also spoken to a few who mentioned that it was not the driver. Sources saying that it was in fact the driver who pointed out that the minor was in an inebriated state. He was not in a condition to drive the vehicle, and yet the minor insisted that he would be behind the wheels, and the minor's father had also assented for the same. In fact, the officials continue the investigations in the case as they piece together all the details, looking at the CCTV visuals available at this point.
We are fully cooperating to the investigation of the police, Pune Police, who is one of the best in India. And they are doing their job very perfectly, very precisely.
आई विटनेस को आप लोगों ने मैनेज करने की कोशिश की थी, ऐसा भी सही बात है सर। आई विटनेस को आपने पैसे के दम पे मैनेज किया है सर। मैंने डराया धमकाया, ऐसा कुछ था सर?
सब गलत है, सब गलत।
आपका छोटा राजन के साथ संबंध है, वो भी आरोप
है।
All right, Rakesh continues to stay live with us. Rakesh, we just had the DCP as well who spoke about the lapses that have taken place, but there are still several questions that remain unanswered. The police officials who were there after the accident, it was a very, very clear attempt at cover-up, and while there may be one or two officials who may be suspended or action initiated against them, this is also a larger issue of how there was a very, very clear attempt to hush up the entire case.
Yes, that's true. And in fact, there is one more lapse that the FIR registered officially at about 8:27 a.m. on Sunday morning. The incident is reported at about 2:30 a.m. on that Sunday midnight. So there's a gap of 6 hours. And generally, for such a important case, it doesn't take 6 hours to register an FIR. So perhaps the officials, some of the officials at the lower level, wanted to manage the case, wanted to manipulate. They wanted to fit the driver instead of the juvenile. That is the allegation that is subject to investigation. Ultimately, the outcome was that the case was registered under 304B primarily, and the juvenile was made the accused. But perhaps that could be the reason that the attempt was made, but the officers could not do it. Maybe because of the pressure of the eyewitnesses, maybe under the pressure of a lot of crowd and public was there, and there were some videos on the social media already floating and getting viral. So perhaps they wanted to do that, but they couldn't do it. Whether that was the condition or not, that is also subject to inquiry, which is being probed by a senior officer right now. So that is why the 6 hours it took for these officials at Yerwada police station to register an FIR. That itself is a big question. And as we said earlier, we discussed that why the accused was not taken to the medical checkup, why his breath analyzer test was not taken, why it was not confirmed whether he was under the influence of the alcohol, whether he was drunk or not. So why these questions were not answered right after the accident? This is the big question before the investigating officers of the Yerwada police, who were the IOs of the case primarily. But now, since this case has been transferred to crime branch, now crime branch will be trying to piece together more information and evidences to make this case watertight, as it is claimed by Pune police for the moment.